The night no one heard except one cat. It was just after midnight when the apartment fell completely silent. Outside, rain tapped softly against the windows. Inside, only the gentle hum of the refrigerator broke the quiet. Then came a loud crash. A woman living with limited mobility had fallen while trying to transfer from her wheelchair. Her phone was across the room, just out of reach. Every attempt to pull herself forward sent another wave of pain through her body. She called for help, but the walls swallowed her voice. With no family nearby and no caregiver expected until morning, she was entirely alone. For several terrifying minutes, nothing happened. Except one small rescue cat refused to accept this. The orange tabby rushed to her side, nudging her hand over and over. When she couldn't help her human stand, she raced to the front door. She scratched, cried, and threw herself against it with unprecedented determination. At first, the neighbors ignored the noise, but the cries didn't stop. Finally, someone opened their door. Moments later, emergency services were on their way. That tiny rescue cat had done the only thing she could think of. She refused to stop asking for help. Whether every detail of stories like this can be independently verified, one thing is beyond question. Around the world, there are countless real accounts of cats staying beside people during seizures, comforting veterans through panic attacks, sensing emotional distress, or refusing to leave the side of someone recovering from illness or injury. They don't understand medical terms or disabilities, yet they seem to understand one simple truth: someone they love needs them. It is what happens when two souls, each carrying invisible wounds, find one another. Sometimes the ones we rescue end up saving us. Walk into almost any animal shelter, and you'll see cats waiting quietly. Some greet visitors with hopeful eyes. Others stay hidden, watching from a safe distance. Many carry emotional scars from abandonment, neglect, or survival on the streets. At first glance, they seem like ordinary cats looking for ordinary homes. But every now and then, a person walks through those doors carrying burdens of their own. Perhaps living with a spinal cord injury, multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy, chronic pain, or PTSD. Neither the person nor the cat knows it yet, but they are about to become exactly what the other has been missing. Unlike dogs, cats rarely overwhelm people. The cat starts waiting outside the bathroom, curls up beside the wheelchair, or learns the sound of medications opening. To an outsider, these routines seem insignificant. But to someone whose world has been reshaped by disability, consistency is a lifeline. The outside world is unpredictable. Symptoms rise and fall, plans are canceled, and energy disappears. Yet every morning, one small furry face is waiting in exactly the same place. Not because it has to be, but because it chooses to be. This bond grows quietly inside hundreds of overlooked moments. A gentle head bump before breakfast, a warm body against tired legs, or soft purring filling a once-empty room. Without saying a word, the cat delivers a daily message. You're not facing this alone anymore. The quiet ways cats hold broken days together. People often imagine that being a lifeline requires dramatic rescue acts. While those stories deserve to be told, for most people living with disabilities, a cat becomes a lifeline in thousands of ordinary ways. Every morning begins with the same familiar routine. Tiny paws patting across the floor, a soft meow, and the gentle weight of a cat hopping onto the bed. For someone whose body doesn't always cooperate, even getting out of bed can feel like climbing a mountain. Pain and fatigue can make the smallest task overwhelming. Yet, a little friend is patiently waiting for breakfast. That simple expectation provides a crucial reason to keep moving. Psychologists have long understood that having a purpose, no matter how small, powerfully boosts emotional well-being. Caring for another living being creates routine, routine creates stability, and stability helps people navigate life's most difficult chapters. Over time, these rituals become deep reassurance. A woman living with chronic pain once described her cat this way: "Every morning, she waits until I open my eyes. She doesn't rush me or demand anything. She just sits there, blinking slowly, making sure I'm okay." Researchers studying the human-animal bond have found that interacting with a trusted companion animal lowers cortisol, the primary stress hormone, while encouraging the release of oxytocin, the hormone associated with trust, safety, and connection. This is why hearing a cat purr can trigger immediate relaxation. It is a biological reminder that, in this moment, you are safe. Cats cannot erase physical pain, cure disease, or make disabilities disappear. But healing isn't always about removing suffering. Sometimes, it's about making suffering easier to carry. It is the difference between walking through a storm alone versus walking with someone beside you. Furthermore, cats offer total acceptance. They don't ask uncomfortable questions, feel pity, or measure your worth by what you can or cannot do. They don't care about medical records, diagnoses, wheelchairs, or prosthetics. To a cat, you are simply the voice they recognize, the heartbeat they trust, and the home they've chosen. The silent language that needs no words. There is an intuitive mystery to how cats understand human emotion. You sit quietly on the couch after a difficult day, trying to hold back your tears, and suddenly your cat appears to curl up beside you. This isn't magic. It is a highly developed system of observation. Cats rely heavily on body language, scent, and environmental cues. They notice the rhythm of our breathing, the sound of our footsteps, our posture, and even subtle changes in our daily patterns. If someone with multiple sclerosis moves more slowly, or a person with chronic pain sighs more deeply, the family cat notices. They can detect subtle chemical changes in our bodies through scent and pair this with visual cues to form an incredibly accurate picture of how we are feeling. Your cat isn't reading your mind. It is reading you. This sensory sensitivity makes them extraordinary companions. For veterans coping with PTSD, many report their cats climbing onto their laps just before a panic attack reaches its peak, offering grounding comfort. For individuals on the autism spectrum, a cat provides a non-judgmental companion who never demands eye contact or complex social communication. For those recovering from major illness, cats will often stay glued to their owner's side through long, difficult nights, purely out of instinctual loyalty. Because rescue cats have often experienced fear, uncertainty, or loneliness themselves, they seem uniquely sensitive to vulnerability in others. Having once depended on kindness to survive, they return that gift in their own quiet language. A slow blink, a head bump, or a low, steady purr. The greatest gift a cat can ever give. Strength is usually pictured as something loud and dramatic. But some of the strongest acts in life are nearly invisible. Strength can be a quiet purr in the middle of the night, a familiar face waiting at the door after a difficult hospital visit, or a warm body resting against your side when getting up feels impossible. Cats don't measure success by how far you can walk, how clearly you can speak, or how independently you can live. They see the same person they chose yesterday, and they will choose you again tomorrow. This quiet loyalty turns a one-sided rescue into a mutual saving grace. The cat brings laughter back to a quiet home, establishes comforting routines, and offers companionship without pity. Some mornings, the only reason a person gets out of bed is to feed their cat. Some evenings, the only thing easing the weight of chronic illness is the soft vibration of a purr against their chest. These moments may seem ordinary to the outside world, but to those living them, they mean everything. They remind us of what every human heart longs for: to be accepted completely and loved without having to earn it. We'd love to hear from you. Has a cat ever helped you through illness, grief, anxiety, or a difficult chapter in your life? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story could give hope to someone who needs it today. If you know someone who could use a reminder that they are never truly alone, please share this video with them. And if you enjoy discovering the science, psychology, and heart behind our feline companions, don't forget to subscribe to Cat Facts Funny. Until next time, give your cat an extra cuddle, cherish the quiet moments, and remember, sometimes the smallest companion leaves the biggest paw print on the human heart.